I'm Cassie Tallman, and welcome to the Health, Safety, and Wellness edition of RCHS News. In this episode, our team of correspondents will bring you these stories related to safety and wellness that we hope will help you stay healthy as winter approaches. Haley Miner and I talked to nurse Alicia Shepler about how to avoid the flu. Kiersa Crotchell talks with students about their mental health. Will Ashcraft brings us a story about hunting safety. Tatum McCloy interviews Chris Wells about fitness. Bailey and Drinko investigate a disease striking RCHS seniors. We'll take you on a visit to Burdine's Five and Dime. Our profile lens turns to teacher Greg Durr, and we'll meet Amber Bailey, a student with a big smile and an even bigger heart. First, let's take a look at this week's weather. Next up, we have our calendar update with Katie Bailey.
This is your calendar update. For the week of October 10th, there are 4 Rebel sporting events coming up. On the 10th, Monday, there is a home volleyball game. The 13th, there is a volleyball game at Fairmont, and the cross-country LKC meet at North Bend. On the 14th, there is a football game in Webster County. The 15th, on Saturday, there's a volleyball game at Williamstown. Wednesday on October 12th is midterms, and on October 14th, which is Friday, there is no school for students. There is after-school tutoring from 3:30 to 5:30. Mondays in Miss Morgan's room, they'll be covering math and science. On Wednesdays, have a sit-down with Mr. McPeak for English, Spanish, and social studies.
Now let's take a look at the menu for the next few days.
October 10th, 2016, we will be having maple and brown sugar oatmeal, hot dogs with sauce, baked beans. On October 11th, we will be having breakfast burrito, and then for lunch, we will be having sausage gravy and biscuits, hash browns. October 12th, we will be having pancakes on a stick, spaghetti with meat sauce, garlic breadsticks. October 13th, we will be having egg and cheese omelet with ham on a croissant, beef and gravy mashed potatoes. October 14th, we'll be having scrambled eggs, sausage, and toast, meatball sub, pasta salad, peaches, salad bar, and fresh fruit. This is Kelsey Drinko.
And Katie Bailey.
And this is your calendar update.
And now for your sports update.
This week in Ritchie County sports, the football team's record is 0-6, the volleyball record is 15-11, the cross-country team is ranked 4th in single A, and the golf season has come to an end. We caught up with some of our Rebel athletes to ask them how the season's going so far.
Well, the season has obviously not gone as well as we had planned it, with being winless so far through 6 games. It's really not the best. But we got some big games ahead. We got Tyler County this week. They're a pretty good team. Then we got Liberty Harrison in 2 weeks or something like that. But every game we have the rest of the year is pretty big. So we're gonna try to get a W.
The season's going pretty well. I don't know the record. We have a quad tonight at Tyler County. We're playing Williamstown, Tyler, and somebody else. I don't know what else to say.
I'm Tatum McCloy signing out for RCHS News.
For our first story, Haley Miner and I bring you a very serious report about avoiding the dreaded seasonal flu that hits RCHS every fall. This is Haley Miner and Cassie Tallman reporting with tips on how to stay healthy. If you haven't noticed, the weather's changing. It's a bit nipply outside, and it is flu season. We asked school nurse, Mrs. Shepler, what tips she had for us to stay healthy this flu season.
Flu shots are very important, especially for children, because they have a lot of tendency to cough and sneeze and spread germs frequently, and it is a virus. Ritchie County is very fortunate that we've had county commissioners who have purchased the flu shot for our students for the past few years. In coordination with the Mid-Ohio Valley Health Department, we'll give flu shots to all students on Wednesday, October 26th, and I strongly encourage all students to take advantage of that.
How do you know when you should stay home from a sickness?
The basic thing about staying home is if you have a temperature over 100, you have to stay home. That's a given. If you are unable to stay awake because you feel so poorly, or you just feel like that you've been run over by a truck, obviously you need to stay home. Anytime that you're so ill that it would cause you to maybe feel like you need to go to a doctor's office, that's a good reason to stay home. And parents need to allow their students to have some rest time.
How important is nutrition?
Nutrition is one of the building blocks that keeps our bodies running and keeps us healthy. So nutrition is a huge part of teenagers' lives and keeping themselves healthy. A good balanced diet, which includes not only carbohydrates and proteins, but your fruits and vegetables, should be the major part of your diet.
If you didn't already know, public schools can be one of the most germ-infested places. So Alicia, how do you like to stay? Peanut, no! Do not lick the table. Peanut, why should we not lick tables?
Because it's bad.
Why is it bad?
You can get hands, foot, mouth disease.
Well, there you have it, guys. Tips on how to stay fresh and clean for this flu season 2016. Next up, we go to Kirsten Cottrell for a brave story about RCHS students coping with mental health issues.
Mental illness is something that affects everyone. This includes the people who inhabit the illness and the peers or adults that surround them. In Ritchie County High School, many students struggle with mental illness. According to NAMI.org, 50% of all lifetime mental disorders begin at age 14 and 75% by age 24. The average delay between trauma and the onset of symptoms is 8 to 10 years. Approximately 50% of students 14 and older with a mental disorder drop out of high school. Suicide is the third leading cause of death in youth age 10 to 24, and suicide is caused by 90% of a mental illness. Shantae Blizzard is a student at Ritchie County High School who is affected by anxiety/panic disorder. We interviewed her today to see how she copes with this disorder.
The attacks are sometimes challenging. I mean, it just depends on the level they are. Some of them I completely sometimes shut down, and then others it's just I have to sit down and then cry, and yeah.
Shantae's life is normal, but challenging because of the illness. This is what she has to say.
Because I can't be in really large groups, and I can't public speak, so it kind of sucks.
Junior Katie Rollins struggles with depression along with her anxiety. Coping with both can be difficult.
I speak with a private psychiatrist, and I also use methods of keeping myself calm and dealing with my issues. Katie Rollins also lives a normal life, but is still overcoming some of her present issues. I mean, I live a pretty normal life. I've went through therapy to overcome my issues, so that's not really a problem anymore, but I feel like it's harder for other people because they don't get the help that they need. Rollins gave us some advice for the students who continue to struggle with mental illness. Tell someone, have someone help you. I mean, it's hard to go through school and life not having anybody there to talk to you and help you with what's wrong. I mean, it doesn't have to be a teacher, it doesn't have to be a parent. Tell a friend, have somebody talk to you, try to get help. We sat with Miss V, the middle school counselor, to get the scoop on student mental illness.
As far as statistics go, what I do is I give all of the students in the school a student needs assessment. So that gives me an idea of the range of things students experience, whether that's anxiety or problems at home or feelings of depression. And so that's more of a self-reported type of concern.
In these statistics, she tells us the major issues.
So right now I have 145 students who have completed the survey so far. And as far as anxiety goes, or feeling stressed, of the students who have responded, 52 of them experience stress, among other things.
As a counselor, Ms. V provides resources for those in need.
So students are welcome to speak with me one-on-one. Sometimes students require more services or more time. As a school counselor, I'm not going to be providing therapy. So if more services are required, I can refer them to Mrs. TB as an example, or any of the therapeutic services in the area.
Mental illness is something that is always haunting. You'll never know what hides behind the smiles of these students. Remember that you are not alone. This is Kirsa Cottrell, signing out.
The leaves are turning, and that means deer hunting season has arrived. And our next story, reporter and hunter Will Ashcraft tracked down Officer Alan Phillips from the West Virginia Department of Natural Resources to set the record straight about hunting rules and firearm safety.
The 2016 hunting season is upon us, and in order to help you to be sure that you go about all of your hunting and trapping activities safely and within the limits of the law, RCHS News reached out to Alan Phillips, the West Virginia Department of Natural Resources officer for Ritchie County.
Our primary responsibility is to enforce game and natural resources laws, as well as environmental laws throughout the state of West Virginia.
According to Officer Phillips, the DNR's foremost concern is safety.
That's our primary goal. We teach hunters education classes for safety, so we can bring the children up in a safe environment. They're safe, nobody's out getting hurt. Teach them firearm safety, tree stand safety, things like that.
Of course, all hunters must be licensed. Officer Phillips explained how to go about getting a license.
There's a couple different ways. In 2015, they started a new online licensing system to where you can actually go online, sign up for our new DNR identification number, and access. You can print off, purchase your hunting license, print it off that way, or you can go to license agents in the counties. Here in Ritchie County, you have Stouts Hardware and North Bend State Park.
We asked Officer Phillips what is the most common hunting violation that he encounters.
Most common is a loaded firearm in a vehicle and or hunting from the roadway.
There is often a misconception about the rules for hunting on private versus public lands. Officer Phillips clarified the issue for us.
Hunting on private land are basically the same as hunting on public land. You still have to have your hunting license. Well, scratch that. You don't have to have a hunting license unless you're hunting on somebody else's land. If you're hunting on your own land and you're a resident landowner, you don't have to acquire a hunting license. If you're hunting on somebody else's land, you still do. You have to have a hunting license.
Here's what Officer Phillips said you should do if you witness a hunting or safety violation of some kind.
If it's an active violation, go ahead and call 911. They'll get a hold of me or another officer stationed in the county. Someone will respond to the area.
Above all, Officer Phillips said to remember the 4 cardinal rules of firearm safety.
Know your 4 cardinal rules for firearm safety. Treat every firearm as it's loaded at all times. Keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. You keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. And then the 4th cardinal rule is know your target and what's beyond it. You don't want to shoot at a deer and there's a house behind it or another hunter in the direction.
On a final note, Officer Phillips pointed out that it is important to read this year's hunting and trapping guide because some aspects of the rules change from year to year and county to county.
There's sections in there that change a little bit every year. Your bag limits may change, your opening dates and closing dates of seasons may change. It goes on county, especially when they set bag limits. In Ritchie County, you have to harvest a doe before you can take your second buck in either archery or gun season. So things like that change year to year.
It is your responsibility to hunt safely and within the law. We hope that this report will help you do just that.
So we want everybody to be out and enjoy the woods, enjoy hunting and fishing, but we want you to be safe as well.
Up next, reporter Tatum McCloy caught up with gym teacher Chris Wells to get some practical tips on what we should all be doing to get and stay fit.
Hi, I'm Tatum McCloy for RCHS News. Today we are talking with physical education teacher Chris Wells about general fitness and everyday fitness activities that students can do to be more fit. Wells defined physical fitness.
Fitness can be a bunch of different things. It could be how you eat, it could be the exercise that you have, the active lifestyle that you incorporate in your daily life.
Wells told us the biggest factor to increasing physical fitness.
Just being active. You got to get off the couch. You got to get out and do something. Don't just sit around playing Xbox or being on Snapchat all night, playing on your phones. You got to be active. Don't be lazy.
Wells explains physical fitness benchmarks for high school students.
For PE, we have the FitnessGram. It's our state test. There's 5 different categories I've got to mark. We have body composition, which measures your height and weight to get your BMI. You have cardiovascular endurance, which we run the pacer. Then we have muscular strength. We do push-ups. You have core strength, which you do your curl-ups, your sit-ups. You have flexibility, shoulder stretch, sit and reach. Those are the 5 main categories. Then you have trunk lift, which measures core flexibility and strength.
Wells informed us some other things students could do to become healthy.
Eat healthier. I know that having McDonald's here just right down the road, it makes it easy for you to go right after school just to go down to McDonald's or go over to Dairy Queen. It's not always the healthiest choices to have for eating wise. You got to be a little more active too. Don't just go home and just sit on the couch or go to bed and take a nap once you get home.
Wells tells us how we know if we're fit.
It's how you feel. Most people look at it as your weight, if you're overweight or not, but some people might have a lot of weight, but it might be because they have a higher muscle mass. They might be working out in the weight room. They might be big and bulky, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're overweight.
I'm Tatum McCloy, signing out for RCHS News.
As most of you know, RCHS has been battling a nasty outbreak of hand, foot, and mouth disease, but another infection is spreading at an alarming rate. Here's a serious as a heart attack report from Katie Bailey and Kelsey Drinko on the class clown of maladies, senioritis.
This is Kelsey Drinko,
And I'm Katie Bailey
and this is your update
on the infectious disease of senioritis.
Have you seen any cases yet of senioritis?
No, we haven't seen any cases yet. Normally that's in the wintertime, start of the spring. We see those.
We are here today with Caitlin Freeland, who has been diagnosed with senioritis. Caitlin, how did this all happen?
Well, it started my freshman year, and it's got worse and worse, and it's not going away. I don't think it's going to go away. They say they might find a cure for it on May 21st at 2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock?
At 2 o'clock. It's a pretty specific time.
That is a pretty specific time. But, you know, like, you act like you're doing pretty well. I mean, you don't act too sick. But, like, how can you tell other people to not get senioritis? To prevent it?
I don't think there is a way to prevent it until you graduate.
What can the administrators do about it?
You know, really there's not much we can do about it. We can help spread awareness, talk to the kids about it, talk to the community, but ultimately it's going to be up to them to get over that.
What are the symptoms of senioritis?
You're tired all the time. You don't want to be here. You hate school, and you're ready to be done.
Senioritis has been a disastrous, ongoing condition that students every year seem to suffer from, and it's time that we get Congress to put some money aside to establish some type of concerted effort to attack this scourge on America's high school seniors.
Have you ever been affected from senioritis?
I've been annoyed by students who have it, especially in yearbook class, but so far this year I haven't had a real issue with it. Some juniors have it. What's that all about? We need to look into that too.
Thank you very much.
Patrick, I heard you didn't get your vaccination for senioritis. How are you feeling?
I'm not feeling good. I don't really want to do anything anymore. You know, I want to stay in bed. And all this homework that I have, I can't handle it all. I just want to get out of here, and I miss the vaccination date. So I'll have to wait until next year on the 21st. That's the only one I can think of to go with.
So we're just counting down the days for treatment. May 21st, 2 o'clock. I'm here with Glenn Hoffman, who claims that he got his vaccination for senioritis. Glenn, give me an update on how you're feeling.
Oh, I'm feeling all right. Just keeping up with my oranges and apples.
Now, let's take a visit to Burdine's 5 and Dime shop, where you might just find the cure for what ails you.
Today we found ourselves at America's oldest 5 and Dime, Burdine's. We interviewed the manager of the store, Karen Harper, to find out things that you might not know.
I've been here 35 years, be 36 in December. That the people that own the store just keep the store for the joy of it, to keep the history and keep it alive. They don't survive off of it. It's here just for the people. And I think that's a neat point. It makes it fun for me.
Harper told us her favorite thing to show the customers.
I love to show the toys. The toys are great. I like to play with the toys, but I like to show them things they've never seen. That's what I really like, I suppose, more than any one thing. Something they've never seen before, because then they're just like, their eyes light up and they smile and it makes their day really neat because they've never seen it. I like that. I like that part.
We asked Karen how she feels about working at Burdines.
It fills me up with joy to see them smile or share a memory and pick up something and say, oh man, my grandpa had this, or this smell reminds me of my grandma, or this candy is something my grandpa always had in a candy bowl in the house. That's the kind of stuff that excites me. So it happens often. It's a good thing to pass on that good, heartwarm feeling.
Harper shared with us a memory from the antique section of the store.
The one memory I have from back there, we had 2 little metal Sunoco piggy banks. And this lady came in and they were $1 a piece. She was so excited because her grandfather had had a Sunoco gas station when she was wee tiny. And she had pictures of her there, but she didn't remember it. But those would remind her of her grandpa forever.
Karen then recalled a special memory between her and a customer.
A young boy, probably 12 or 13. Him and his brother used to come in and terrorize the place with swords and guns and shoot and be pirates, all, you know, when they're up here for the summer with their family and stuff. And he was in here one afternoon and no one was here, and he said he didn't know how to play jacks. So I went over there on that counter and I taught him how to play jacks. Just for about 5 or 10 minutes we played, and when he came back, when he had a 2-year-old daughter, he said, I remember when you taught me how to play jacks here. And he's going to teach his daughter how to play jacks someday. That's what makes it special, because it's somebody that connects. And I've had lots of stories like that, just lots and lots. That's why it's special, because of the people.
Now for our next installment in our profile series, we turn our lens to teacher Greg Durr, who has a few things to say about wellness himself.
I ended up taking an interest survey, like bubble sheet where you answer 100 questions, and the results were I should be a teacher or a librarian, and I picked teacher. Being with the kids every day, I think it keeps me young because I'm getting old. Yearbook. I really enjoy doing the yearbook, and food prep's fun. I kind of miss teaching. I taught honors 11th grade English one semester, and that was really cool. On days that I'm hungry, food prep's really good. The days that kids make me angry, learning stuff about kids that's really sad, you know, like their home life or something that's depressing. Knowing that there's not a lot you can do to help someone who needs help, that you're not in a position to do that. Overall, the kids here are great. I just want them to be better prepared for life. They don't understand what's out there and all the opportunities that are there, and I want kids to understand there's so much more to life than Ritchie County, and if you want it, it's there, and you just gotta have the energy and the determination to make it happen for yourself. Yes, I'm a music snob, and I will judge you based on the kind of music you listen to. I don't verbalize how I feel about people, but I find out your favorite band is Nickelback or Kid Rock, then I'm gonna have a certain attitude. If you only listen to what's on the radio, that's kind of lame. I don't like birds, and they'll bite you. I think it started when I was 2.5. I went to visit my grandparents, and they had a big white pet goose, and it would chase me from my parents' car to the house. It pecked me in the back of the head. I've also been attacked by chickens. I had a hawk attack me in a planetarium, some zoo place I was at, and scratched the top of my head open. I've been attacked by seagulls at the beach. I had a bird crap on me at Disney World. I do have a bird phobia. Oh, I hated high school. I was bullied. I was a victim. I hate using that, but I didn't have the best time in high school, which is kind of ironic. I love it now. Try to make it better for kids these days. I like a Snicker bar. Nutter Butter cookies are awesome. And I like candy that hurts. You know, like the candy that's so sour you like want to spit it out. I like painful candy. Oh, I like my students. I wouldn't want to have my own kids, but I like other people's kids for like 90 minutes at a time, and then they go away. That's ideal. It's quiet. Well, it was quiet until they started fracking, and then all the trucks drive me crazy, but it's beautiful, and it's a slower pace of life than Columbus is where I lived before I moved here.
For our final story, reporters Patrick Shepard and Hope McAtee bring us a poignant look at one of RCHS's most inspiring individuals. She's a young woman who can teach all a little about being grateful for what we have instead of disappointed about what we don't. Her name is Amber Bailey.
3 out of every 1,000 births are diagnosed with cerebral palsy, and Amber Bailey just so happens to have it. She's agreed to tell us what it's like to have cerebral palsy and what it's like to live with it.
I have a cerebral palsy called spastic diplegia. It is affected by the lower limbs, and it's like a stiffness and also like a weakness, so it varies. It's a neuro disorder that is caused by a baby being premature or a lack of oxygen when they're born, and it can affect like all your limbs of your body, but I'm lucky because mine only affects my legs.
Amber describes her biggest challenge and how she wants to overcome it.
Obviously walking is terrible, so bad, and I hate falling down, especially in public. I do that every day. Getting back up and acting like it doesn't bother me like is a really big struggle. So if I can work on that and work on my insecurities about it, because I still do. Even if I have right now an alright perspective about it, I still have a lot of insecurities about it. So if I can overcome that and get to where I can accept myself, then I'll be okay.
As a child, Amber had a role model that helped her stay positive about her condition.
I actually, when I was younger, had a person that had it that, she helped me. She helped me with what she dealt with and what I could work with, and she also was like a cheerleader, so it kind of helped me be like, you know what, just because I have this doesn't mean I can't do that.
I asked Amber what her perspective on life is, and this is what she told me.
I just take life day by day. Whatever happens, happens, and you get up and go. Don't let it get you down. Life is all about ups and downs. You're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. But if you think about just the problem, then you're going to get nowhere. You have to look beyond that. You have to think that no matter what, it's going to be all right. And like for me, God's always going to be there. He's always going to help me out.
And that's it for this episode of RCHS News. See you next time.